Welcome to This Explainer. Did you know there is a massive treasure trove of legal, property, and family history data hiding right in plain sight? Seriously, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed trying to navigate court systems, you are in the right place. Today, we're breaking down a complete step-by-step roadmap so you can access free Norfolk court records like a total pro. Just to give you an idea of the sheer scale and value of what we're dealing with here, some of the free online public record indices you can access actually go back incredibly far. I'm talking all the way back to the 13th century. We aren't just looking at a couple of modern traffic tickets. We are talking about a massive, centuries-deep volume of data that is available to you completely for free if you just know exactly where to look and how to bypass those pesky paywalls. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our agenda for today. First, the tale of three Norfolks. Second, navigating criminal and civil court. Third, property and land records. Fourth, probate and historical archives. And finally, search tips and disclaimers. Let me tell you, grouping your search by record type is the absolute secret to a frustration-free experience. Starting off with Section 1, the tale of three Norfolks, and avoiding the first major trap. You know, this is where most public record searches fail immediately. People just start looking in the wrong geographical database. So I really have to ask you, which Norfolk are you actually searching for? I know it sounds like a trick question, but it's honestly the most vital step. The name overlaps heavily across Massachusetts, Virginia, and Ontario, Canada. And each one operates a completely different public access portal. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how clearly we have to untangle these distinct jurisdictions. For Norfolk County in Massachusetts, your go-to portal is Mass Courts. For the city of Norfolk, Virginia, you're looking at the Virginia General District and Circuit Courts. And way up in Norfolk County, Ontario, you're going to use On Land. Pinning this down right off the bat saves you hours of frustration and prevents some pretty critical search errors. Moving on to Section 2, Criminal and Civil Court, where we'll focus on finding those dockets. Once you have your jurisdiction locked in, it's time to actually locate specific criminal charges and civil litigation. Let's contrast the two major free portals in the U.S. On the Massachusetts side, Mass Courts gives you free electronic docket info for cases handled by the Superior Court, which takes care of felonies and civil cases over $50,000, as well as the district courts. Over on the Virginia side, their statewide online case information system gives you free access to the General District Court for misdemeanors and minor civil claims, plus the Circuit Court for felonies and major litigation. The best part? Both of these let you search their dockets without paying a single dime. But hey, we do need to manage expectations about what you'll actually see online. You're going to frequently run into legal jargon, like the term status offenses in the Virginia system. Basically, these are acts that are unlawful only because they're committed by a minor. Think along the lines of truancy. It's really important to know this because juvenile and domestic relations records are highly protected and typically sealed. So no, you won't find those publicly visible on these free portals. Let's see how this builds into an actual search. If you're using the Mass Court system, here is your actionable walkthrough. First, you'll start by passing the automated CAPTCHA to prove you're not a bot, then click Search Public Records. From that drop-down menu, choose your specific court department, like Superior or District, and narrow it right down to the exact Norfolk County division. Finally, type in the party's name, last name first, or just punch in the case number. It is truly that systematic. All right, Section 3, Property and Land Records, covering deeds, liens, and boundaries. Now, if you're hunting for ownership records or property boundary lines, your strategy has to change completely. To understand why, you really need to grasp the concept of a race notice recording state. Virginia is a prime example of this. Because of this specific legal framework, land records aren't just dumped into one free centralized state portal. Instead, they're managed independently by each of the state's 133 local circuit court clerks. This decentralized system completely alters how you have to go about accessing these documents. Because of that, in Norfolk, Virginia, there is a very strict barrier between what's free and what's paid. For free access, you can physically go visit the 7th floor public computer terminals at the Norfolk Circuit Court building. You can also sign up for this great free service called Deed Alert, which gives you email notifications if a lien is placed on your property. But if you want full secure remote access, or SRA, right from the comfort of your couch, well, that's severely restricted to registered subscribers paying a pretty hefty $200 annual fee. Meanwhile, if you need property records in Norfolk County, Ontario, you're going to use Canada's On Land system. It's actually incredibly intuitive. You simply select your specific land registry office, Choose the property service option, and then decide if you're searching by PIN, instrument number, or just the street address. Once you execute that search, you can opt to purchase specific parcel registers or maps right then and there. Shifting gears to Section 4, Probate and Historical Archives, focusing on wills and genealogy. This area is an absolute goldmine for anyone doing estate administration or genealogical research. Up in Massachusetts, the Norfolk Probate and Family Court, located in Canton, handles wills, trusts, and estates. Now, while modern probate case dockets are super easy to search online using that Mass Courts portal we talked about earlier, actually getting your hands on the paper copies of older, archived estate files is a slightly different story. For those, you'll generally need to submit a mail request, which currently runs about $1 per page plus postage. And this next detail brilliantly illustrates how history shapes our modern records searching. If you are tracing ancestry back to Norfolk, England, you have to know that civil courts didn't even handle wills until 1858. Before that, they were entirely handled by the church. So historical probate records are actually classified as ecclesiastical court records. The Norfolk Record Office maintains an unbelievable database called NRO-CAT, which indexes these pre-1858 church court wills completely for free online. It's a fantastic resource. Finally, Section 5, Search Tips and Disclaimers, helping you navigate the inevitable hurdles. Look, knowing the portals is really only half the battle. Knowing how to navigate the roadblocks is what makes you an expert researcher. You've got to apply the right search logic. First off, especially for historical records like those in England, spelling was wildly inconsistent centuries ago, like all over the place. Always try broad surname-only searches and really creative spelling variations. Second, save yourself the headache. Remember that juvenile court records, child protection orders, and adoptions are legally sealed. They are exempt from public disclosure. Finally, be highly cautious of third-party aggregate sites promising free background checks. They're almost always incomplete or outdated compared to the official government portals we've walked through today. And that brings us to a very important set of ethical guardrails. The information available through these free portals is fantastic, but it is for educational and research purposes only. Data you find online is not always legally binding. You should always verify any automated online data directly with the official court clerk's registries. And please, consult a qualified legal professional if you need specific legal advice for your situation. Utilizing these free governmental resources responsibly is absolutely paramount. We have covered a massive amount of ground today, right? From modern Massachusetts civil dockets to Virginia property deeds, all the way back to 13th century English church wills. With centuries of court, land, and historical records literally just a click away on these official portals, I want to leave you with this. What hidden histories will you uncover in the public record? Get out there, start searching, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.